Hey, it's Dan. Welcome back. This is iAllegedly, and I've got a good one for you today. Just finished a meeting. I am in the city of Long Beach, California, and this is near the port of Long Beach, just south of the port of LA, and walking on the sand. Kind of a quiet day. They're filming a movie down that way. Got a car in the water and they're pushing it out. I don't know if it's, well, I shouldn't say, it's a movie or a TV show. It's one of the two. So much is happening right now in the news. Please take a second, hit the like button, the subscribe button. Don't forget the email list below. But there's a huge problem because the Foreclosure Festival is about to begin. And no one's going to stop this thing. So right now, the moratorium for forbearance has been completely lifted. And so many states are having the problem where now, you know, if you don't have your deal worked out with your bank, they could foreclose on you. There has been an uptick of foreclosures. 40,000 people a month started the foreclosure process in the third quarter. It is up 67% from what it was a year ago. Obviously, nobody was getting foreclosed on a year ago. I think it's higher than that because the numbers were as low as 4,000 people a month were in the foreclosure process. Now, during that time, you had to be in really, really bad shape with the bank for them to start foreclosure proceedings during the height of the health crisis. That being said, all bets are off right now. California, Texas, Florida, New York, and Illinois are the states with the most foreclosures right now. And they're kicking these people out. Now, here's the thing. With forbearance, you could work deals out with the lenders to where you were not subject to losing the home. They would put the payments on the back end. They would do different things. But now, it's done, okay? If you don't have the deal worked out, the odds that you're going to lose the home is increased substantially right now. Think about this number. This is disturbing. This is in the video description below, this story. People that have 40% equity in their house. Let's just say the house for round figures is worth $1 million, okay? You owe $600,000 on it, and you got $400,000 in equity, and these people are letting places like this go into foreclosure. That's insane, guys. There is hard money lenders. There are people that can lend you money that would, you know, get attached to that house to pay that debt off so you don't have to lose the house during this time. And needless to say, that's, you know, still not a motivating factor to negotiate this stuff. Guys, you've had warning after warning after warning after warning. And I get people in the comments saying, there's no evictions, Dan. There's no foreclosures. There's a ton of them, guys. But now that this magical date of December 1st has come, it's crazy right now. So if you have not negotiated something with your lender right now, you're foolish because it's an absolute problem. Plus, people are getting foreclosed for not paying things like their homeowners association dues, which is very popular here in California. Also, your property taxes. They're starting to come after people for the property taxes that people thought, oh, well, they can't do that. Well, they are doing that, and it's happening left and right. So take a look at the numbers. Again, California leads the way with the most amount of people that are in this process right now. And the evictions are happening left and right now. Again, if you are behind in your house payment, you've got to be able to negotiate something. If you owe more than the house is worth, which is happening, there is a course, and I had lunch with somebody today talking about this, talking about how people are having courses about short sales right now, where you are lending people owe more than what is the house is worth. Okay? Now, again, people are going to write me and say, house is still close escrow in a day, 2, Dan. It's absolutely insane. It is. It's happening. A friend of mine showed me her area where everybody on the street, the last 4 sales, were all over asking price. These people are absolutely insane that they pay this kind of money. But you're seeing these foreclosures, they're starting, and the banks are not negotiating like they were even 60 days ago. So if you guys don't have a deal worked out now, you may never get a deal worked out. Okay? So share your thoughts on all this stuff, guys. I really want to know what you think about this. So I got a little closer to the film set, and they've got that little Honda 500 that they're pushing through the sand. And you guys can see all of the container ships out here. Absolute ton. And again, the big news here in Long Beach is that they're having these container ships sit outside of California borders through international waters to be 150 miles out, so they are not counted as part of the container line. So again, this problem has not been solved. It's a major, major problem. But here in Southern California, you see film sets, they're pulling the car up like it's moving, and they're filming this right now. They're using a tractor to move the car. Living here in Southern California, you see a lot of film sets and movies being shot, and you know, you see the rigging trucks and the security and the cops and the lighting vehicles and everything like that. It's kind of fun sometimes to see it. Speaking of vehicles, it was just announced that the #1 selling vehicle in the United States for the, listen to this, 40th year in a row is the Ford F-150 pickup truck. That's crazy, guys. 40 years in a row that the #1 selling vehicle is that truck. Now, for the 45th straight year, it's been pickup truck, it's been the F-150. I'm shocked about that, okay, that Ford sells this many trucks. In 2021, they sold almost 680,000 of these vehicles. The majority of them, 80% of the vehicles sold by Ford are trucks, and it's just the #1 selling vehicle. I can't name another Ford vehicle other than the Mustang and things like that, but again, you know, I was surprised by this. And Ford is a $20 stock, Tesla's $1,000. You know, it's kind of funny that you have a real, you know, car company that is nowhere near the price of what Tesla stock is. So share your thoughts, guys, on all this stuff. Really curious as to what you guys think about this. We changed locations. I'm now in Naples, California. It's an island right next to Long Beach. Very nice. Lots of cool houses, lots of cool construction. People have these nice size houses, and you've got the boat docks right there. This place is also great around Christmas time and the evening time because they decorate everything. So there's a lot to look at, walk around. It's just a beautiful place. There's something interesting right now with business and what you're seeing with the initial public offerings that are out there. And BuzzFeed, which is basically a news aggregator, they announced that they're going to go public this next week by using a SPAC, a special purpose acquisition company. And the SPAC is going to, basically these are formed to acquire different companies. And people invest in these and they try to get themselves involved with something big like BuzzFeed or some other investment. But a lot of these sometimes are blind investments where people put money in and we want to do something towards medical, something towards media, something like that. But this one, the people that invested in this, they're acquiring BuzzFeed, and the initial public offering takes place next week. Now, the company itself is not going to see a lot of the $287 million that's going to be raised. In fact, a lot of the investors that are involved in this have ridden this journey long enough and they're sick of it and they want out of it. They want nothing to do with BuzzFeed. And there's a huge amount of companies, of investors that are leaving right now before this place goes public. It's anticipated that the stock will be around $10 a share. It'll be very interesting to see how this turns out. Now, the other little twist in this thing is BuzzFeed's employees. There is a massive amount of workers that are refusing to do anything right now. They're walking out because they're saying, without us, this place would be nothing. And I think they're right, personally, but I think that this could be handled better. You know, are these employees going to be compensated? Will they get stock from this? Will they get rich as a result of working there? Who knows what their deals are? But if you ever work at a company and there is the smell, the hint that they could ever go public, you've got to make sure that you have a written deal for this and that your stock is guaranteed. Because perfect example is MailChimp. MailChimp right now has been in business like 12 years. They went out and MailChimp had a deal where there were 2 owners to the company. They never would take on investors. So it was the 2 guys that owned the company. They go out and sell the place for $13 billion. The employees got nothing. The employees were flipping out because they didn't have any ownership in it. Now, you can sit there and say that's a terrible deal, but what was released today that I learned as I was researching the BuzzFeed information was that these guys were hiring developers and people and paying them 25% more than they would get in the street. So certain engineers and certain people that were doing coding and things like that would normally make, let's say, $120,000 in their job as a high-end professional, they were making $150,000, $160,000 working for MailChimp. So they got a bump up there. And then when the company sold, everybody got a 30% kick. Whatever your salary was, you got a 30% cash bonus. Now you can say it's not enough, whatever, okay? But you knew what the risk was because they were never giving this stuff out to anybody prior to the deal being made. So again, it will be interesting to see what happens with BuzzFeed. The owner of the company, this is the most fascinating part of this. This place goes public. He still has majority control in the stock. So very interesting stuff. And I've done a lot of research on these things in the past, but what I'm really curious about here is the infighting with the employees and the strikes and stuff like that. That's fascinating, and how much money they're actually going to get. That's Alamitos Harbor. A lot of boats are parked there. Got a sailboat coming up on me right now. Just a nice place, guys. Very peaceful. Again, to walk here during the day. It's funny. The distance from here to across the bay would take about 30 minutes to drive to, but it just looks so close. Yesterday, I was out. Check this out. The rustling of the sail. Yesterday, I was out at Anaheim Stadium, where the Angels play. Met with group tickets, and we're having fundraisers coming up for the new year and the new season. Want to lay stuff out, and it was cool because they have the clock on the wall that says how many days until spring training. It's 87 days, and I thought, oh, that's great. So bought a bunch of tickets and laid things out for the different charities and stuff that we're going to work on for 2022. It's very exciting, and I'll let you guys know all about that when it comes out. But this morning a bomb was dropped in Major League Baseball, where right now the Major League Baseball has its first work stoppage since 1995, and they try to do a collective bargaining agreement where the players and the owners work together on things like retirement, minimum salaries, things like that. And this was supposed to happen during the season. And I actually give the owners credit because they had a meeting 2 days ago. Meeting completely fell apart, ended after just a few minutes. They said that both sides are too far apart. Well, the owner said, forget it, we're locking you guys out. So right now, there's no baseball right now. Baseball is done right now. And actually, I think that this is the perfect time because by the time the season rolls around 87 days from now, 86 now, you would think that they would have this deal worked out. But Major League Baseball, I mean, seriously, this is probably, of all the sports, it's probably the sport with the longest career. Now, you can talk about golfers and things like that. It's kind of neat having that sailboat in the background. You can talk about golfers and things like that, but NFL, it's basically 3.5 years. Hockey's a really short career lifespan, but baseball, a guy can play baseball if he's healthy and if he's strong and if he's good. He can play baseball for 15 to 20 years. So the retirement program for baseball is absolutely insane. If you play baseball for 3 years, you can get a retirement for the rest of your life. These people can get paid money and not have to worry about working. So it's kind of interesting that since 1995, 26.5 years to be exact, that they finally locked the players out and they're trying to negotiate this now. Do you care about this stuff, guys? Do you care about professional sports at all? I find it fascinating. I love baseball. I love the Angels, but they kind of did this under the radar, which was really good because it's not at you're seeing all these different players that are going to different teams, and you're seeing all the different signings and things like that. But right now, you're not seeing them talk about the business side of it. And they just announced the lockout today, which was really not a real big story, but it should be a huge sports story today. So share your thoughts on that. While I was researching the forbearance story, the one thing that popped up quite a bit was the evictions. By the way, look at this. Imagine that. That's your backyard, and that's what you get to look at. Crazy. Okay? So, the problem with these people that have not paid their rent, some as much as 18 months, is that the eviction moratorium is over with. It's done. So, the eviction proceedings have begun. I have a list of states, and if anybody has any eviction moratoriums, you can check your state, check the list below in the video description. It's there. But the sickest part of this whole thing is that there was almost $40 billion of rental assistance money that was put out, and it just has not been disseminated. As of 45 days ago, that's the most recent numbers I can get, only $10 billion of this money was put out. That's awful, guys. Now here's the worst part. This money gets put back, if it's not used by the end of the month, in the general fund and disseminated to other programs, which means it'll be squandered someplace else. So again, people are being told by different rental boards and different associations and things like that around the country that if they have been served with eviction papers, don't worry about showing up. If you applied for rental assistance, you should be okay. Well, the number one reason that people are getting evicted right now is they don't show up to these hearings. Okay? It could be unscrupulous, that you weren't served properly, whatever, but if you get notified of this, you better be there. You better go explain yourself, because that's the only chance you have of getting time in your house. So share your thoughts on this stuff, because it's awful right now. And the fact that all this money has not been given out to people is even worse. So again, it's not a political thing. Okay, it's not an old administration versus new administration. It's a bureaucratic thing. And the bureaucracy of my life has always been bureaucratic. And it's always taken time and taken delays, like dealing with the post office or dealing with everything else that we see. It's just ridiculous. And now here's a perfect example of where people will be sleeping on the streets between now and Christmas, and there is rental assistance money that they could get this money for the landlords. Now, you may have a landlord that's a complete clown that doesn't want to participate. The money would go directly to you if that's the case. So if you apply for this money and he doesn't want to be part of it, or she, or whoever, they, them, big company, whatever, the money can go directly to you. But take a look at this and investigate this as soon as you can. And let me know what you guys think. Share your thoughts on all this stuff. Here's something that's pretty fascinating. Boeing, the Boeing company, the big jet company, they make the 737 jet that just got cleared to fly again in China. The stock shot up, and life is grand. But here's something that I learned that was unbelievable to me. Now remember, there was crashes, there was problems with the jets, safety problems, things like that. Okay, here's what's interesting about buying a jet. Different countries order jets in different ways. Like, for example, we have all these safety regulations here. How about this? In like Indonesia and different African countries, they don't have the same restrictions that we have as far as safety. So you can order jets, passenger jets, 737s, without certain safety protocols. Is that insane? Think about that. So we're gonna fly from Africa to Paris. It's only $80. I wonder why. Anyways, can you believe that? I mean, think about it. Wouldn't you think a jet would they would all be built the same way and have the same safety protocols on all those different jets? I was utterly floored when I learned that these people order these jets and don't have safety lights, don't have certain safety features in every country. That's nuts, okay? So look at the jets that crashed, and you'll find that some of those safety features were not on those planes that we have here in the United States. That's what started this whole debacle. You couldn't fly a Boeing 737 in China since, what was it, December 2019 or whatever it was. Anyways, it was 2019 when that happened. So share your thoughts on all this stuff. But when you fly in a jet, you'd think that everything would have all the bells and whistles on it, and they just don't, which is lunacy. It doesn't matter where you live. The retail crime is a huge, huge problem right now. Cook County in Chicago, they just announced their 1,000th murder of 2021. 1,000 murders. They have not had crime like this in 30 years. So bravo, you guys are number one, okay? Congratulations. Next thing is good old San Francisco. Take a look at the video description. In the video description, you've got a story about all the boarded up businesses next to the Louis Vuitton store and all these different places that were robbed. And think about this. If you had robberies like that, do you think the sandwich shop 2 doors down is going to do well? No, they're not. So I live in Orange County, California, and our sheriff just issued a statement this morning that is brilliant, and I'll leave the link for you below, where he said, listen, please understand the safety of our citizens, the safety of shoppers, the safety of store owners is of the utmost importance to the Orange County Sheriff Department, and we will pursue and arrest any of these people. So you're not going to have the same thing happen in Orange County that you happened in San Francisco. There won't be robberies like that, and if they are, these people will be brought to justice. And our Sheriff Don Barnes is somebody that will not tolerate this, to say the least. So good for him. It's a safer place. And share your thoughts on all this stuff, guys. This is nice. Through Naples, you've got these canals, and the houses are built in these different little islands out here. You can take a look at this. I'm gonna finish this video with the last few stories. I'm just gonna wrap them all into one. First things first, the House of Representatives avoided a government shutdown by working out a debt ceiling deal until February. Again, kicking the can down the road. No permanent deal is done, but the government is funded through the middle of February. And again, guys, this has been going on for 30, 40 years like this. They just kick it down, kick it down, kick it down. Okay, so they're funded, credit limit gets raised, we'll write checks, everything's fine. And again, they will not mention this. They will not work on this now until trouble is coming, and it'll be February. That's when we'll hear about this again. Second thing, there are hedge funds out there that are massively liquidating their positions right now. They are closing up shop because things are at the top of the market, and they know this. Now, I get people that write me and say, Dan, you don't know what you're talking about. Stock market's down one day, it's up another day. Things are great. Okay, these hedge funds are closing. They're closing their positions 100%, and they're getting out of the business, okay? So, that being said, next thing, I have a friend with cancer. I have a friend who went to go pick up her cancer medicine, and the pharmacist has to go to a specialty pharmacy, says, wait a second, it's not kicking in for your insurance. Did you make your payment? What's the deal? We need a copay of $16,000. Okay, $16,000 is her copay. Hang on a second. Oh, wait a second, my credit card, or my debit card, excuse me. I got a new one, new expiration date. She gave it to them, they processed it, and no copay. Okay, guys? So for those of you out there saying, oh, I don't need insurance. Okay. Half the cancer drugs for 2 weeks, 16G, $16,000. Okay, so that's absolute insanity. Now, the final thing is Burger King. Burger King is pulling a McDonald's right now where they're having a special to celebrate their 64th anniversary of the Whopper. Remember, the Whopper was good at one point. It was a big hamburger, it was huge, really tasty, flame broiled, all that stuff. Anyways, if you get their app today and tomorrow, you can get a Whopper for Listen to this, 36 cents if you buy it through the app. Their Premier Royal Club, whatever it's called, through Burger King, you can get a 36-cent Whopper if that interests you guys. So, no, not me. Anyways, please don't forget to hit the like button. Please hit the subscribe button. Share this with all your friends and colleagues. And don't forget to join the email list. Onward and upward, guys. I will see you guys very soon.